Hi, and welcome to Weed World. I'm Joe Foster, and I'm your guide to growing some really good weed. So this is part 2 of growing weed indoors. If you have not seen part 1 yet, I urge you to go and see it. Just click on my username, and you should find it right then and there on my profile page. And I urge you to see it right now and to take notes if you can. So what I'm going to talk about in this episode is basically what I didn't cover beforehand. So basically, let me get started. In your room, when you're growing your weed, you're soon going to find that you have to ventilate the room somehow. You should recycle the air every 10 to 15 minutes. There are several ways to do this, and you can find your own. But, I like to use these couple ones right here. Option A, you can buy a bunch of household fans, just some blowers, and just blow air into the room. And then you got option B, and that's to buy an actual ventilation system and suck air out of that room and vent it outside. And then you got option C, which is basically to buy like one of those bathroom ceiling fans, and they will suck air out into through the roof. They're pretty cheap to buy, I guess, but I stick with the household fans if you're on a budget. So ventilation is pretty much key to this because marijuana, they stink, and in order to reduce odor, you got to be able to vent the air outside somehow, but not on ground level where people can easily smell it. You vent it through a roof or through somewhere where people aren't really going to smell it as easy. Maybe some place where it's in the back of the house and no one's going to smell it as easy. Another thing that I didn't go over in the last video was key. If you have household animals in your house, you should not let them into your grow room. If you go into your grow room, you have animals in there, in your house or whatever, shut the door behind you and leave them out there. Don't ever let them come in. Because, if they shed a lot, you got hair on your buds and everything, and then you find yourself smoking hair, which is actually really gross. But not only that, but if you have an animal that goes outside a lot or does that sort of thing, it can easily track in diseases from other plants and infect your weed, which is a very unfortunate case, but it does happen. Another thing that I did not cover in the last video was that you should never touch your weed. Don't touch your weed, because if you go outside and you brush up on a plant or whatever, you could be carrying disease on your fingers. The only reasons you should ever touch your weed is if you're pruning them. But I like to, I go to like the hardware store or to like my pharmacy, and I like to buy latex gloves if I'm gonna, non-latex gloves, and put them on my hands before I handle my marijuana. And also, when the buds are growing, you should never touch the buds. Never touch the buds, because they have little trichomes in them that carry THC. They're very, very delicate. If you brush your fingers across the buds, you can actually end up scratching a few of them off, and you will end up losing some THC, and it would be less potent. One more thing I did not cover in the video was bragging rights. If you're a young grower, and this is directed only to the young growers, it's cool that you have weed in your bedroom or a room in your house, but you don't need to show your buddies, and you sure as hell don't have to call them up and say, I'm growing weed, because, and it's happened to me before when I was younger and I was first starting out, and I'm sure it's happened to a few of you guys. You told your friends, you bragged to your friends, and they ended up taking it, or they ended up taking a few of your buds. It happens. So keep your damn mouth shut. Another thing I did not add in the other videos is that people like to hide the smell with Glade air freshener, and they have other air fresheners as well. Don't ever spray these in your grow room, because they have very harmful chemicals that can contaminate your plants, and your plants will get sick and they might die. So never do that. Also, when you are pruning your plants, and some people do prune, I choose not to. I let them grow wild and free and everything, unless I'm cloning, which I'll go over in another video soon. So unless you're pruning, you should never, when you are pruning, when you get your scissors, bring some rubbing alcohol with you. And before you make any cuts or touch the plants at all with scissors, you should always wipe your scissors down with alcohol, because your scissors could have existing fungus and bacteria and other diseases from other plants on them. And if you cut a fresh plant with them, you're going to transfer that disease to them. And also, when you're done with one plant, after you started pruning it, after you're done with that plant, you got to wipe down your scissors again and then go to the second one. And when you're done with the second one, wipe down your scissors again and go off to the third one, and so on and so forth. So people ask me all the time, well, they ask me, Joel, how do I know when my buds are ready? Well, it's actually a pretty easy question, actually. Your buds are ready when, and please don't believe anybody else when you hear this from. Everybody has their own myths, and this is a fact. And everybody else has their own theories and myths. Some people will say it's when half the hairs turn red and half the hairs turn white. That's not true. Some people will say it's when the bud is almost falling off. That is not true. Some people will say it's when the smell is really bad. That is also not true. What you need to do is you need to get a magnifying glass, and you need to set it on the bud itself. And what you will see is what looks like little mushrooms. Look like little tops with mushrooms on it, with a stalk and everything. It looks like a little plant within a plant. And it has a little mushroom top on it. And when you see it, it'll be like a clear kind of crystal kind of color. That is called a trichome. And what a trichome is, it's basically where the plant stores its THC. So when you see it through with the magnifying glass, you will see that it's a clear color, and you should check it every day after you start seeing them. And they'll start turning into a reddish auburn kind of color. And some other species have a different color to it, but it should be around a red or auburn color. And about half of them will be auburn. Some will be clear still, but about half of them will be auburn. And when you finally see that, that's the perfect time to pick. Right then and there. That's how you get the dank-ass shit. That's medical quality. Another thing. You know what? Actually, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching this video, and I thank you for everything. Please subscribe, and if you don't subscribe, I guarantee you'll never smoke another joint ever again, or any weed, because your weed's going to be so disgusting that you're not going to want to smoke it because you didn't do it right, because you didn't watch my damn videos. So subscribe, leave a comment question down below if I missed anything or you wanted to know more about something. Go ahead and drop a question, and in the next episode I will answer it and give you a shout out. So subscribe, tell other people about this channel, and let other people view it, and subscribe and all that stuff. And have a nice day, and We World is out.